여기 나오잖아 이렇게. 보여요? 저 얼굴 나오는 거? 잠깐씩 나온다니까?
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead, but I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
그러니까
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up, take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion.
얘네는 쌍둥이고 그 플로렌스라고 하는 사람이 쌍둥이인데 한 명이 죽었다고 거짓말 쳐서 자기네 집에 아기를 길러간 거야. 길러 가서 그냥 다른 애인 줄 알고 살았어. 맨날 저 길 건너편에서 비슷한 게 있으니까 막 거울에다 비쳤나봐라고 했는데 그게 아닌 거야.
Florence was a warm, kind person, but she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it, older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there. I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand. I guess I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
얼굴 나와.
No, it was just me and her. Eve was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember, that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread, maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week. No, it was just me and her. Eve was the name.
얘 이름이 이브인가 보다.
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes. A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off, I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
뭐야?
What are you doing talking about Eve?
모스부호? 모스부인가 본데? 방금 이게? 맞는 거 아니야? 자, 너무 수상하지 않아요? 너무 수상하지 않아요 이거? 맞는 거 같은데?
My mother called me Eve.
아, 이거 이렇게 할 수도 있었네? 이렇게 해야겠다. 잠깐만 다시 보자 이거. 모스부 어떻게 읽어? 잠깐만.
What are you doing talking about Eve?
사인?
Let me see. Yes. I drove in here because I remember well I went over the river and then there was a church there. Yeah. And I probably parked, well I remember seeing a street sign called Princess Street. There it is. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it must be this one. There.
로스보 번역기가 있어. 켜봐야겠다. 모스보 어떻게 하지? 짧은 신호점, 긴 신호점. 잠깐만.
When beautiful people died, we always felt like it was a sign. You remember Princess Grace? Grace Kelly? She died in a car crash the year before we met Simon. We used a Ouija board to speak to her, and that gave us the power to find him. That's what we thought then. that people who die tragically leave some kind of magic behind. We used to share dreams. We used to wake up and write them down in our diaries immediately and compare them.
잠깐만. 잠깐만. 딴. 메모장 좀 킬게요. 따다단. 따따단. 잠깐만. (1, 2, 3, 4) 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 잠깐만. 다시. 잠깐만. 다시.
Talking about Eve. What are you doing talking about Eve?
3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 이게 뭐지? 잠깐만. 점 잠깐만. 아이고. 꺼버렸네. 잠깐만. 제가 저 화장실 갔다 올게요, 여러분. 잠시 금방 갔다 오겠습니다. 돌아왔습니다. 모스, 몰스, 코드.
When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by tapping out a code that we'd learned from a book, the knock code, something prisoners of war would use. We'd tap them out on
뭐라고?
radiator
노크
by
코드라고?
tapping out a code that we'd learned from a book, the knock code. When we weren't together, we'd send secret messages by tapping out a code that we'd learned from a book, the knock code, something prisoners of war would use. We'd tap them out on radiator pipes or the attic floor. Dad thought we had mice, but they couldn't find any. Bought a cat anyway.
아니 어떻게 읽지 노크 코드? 아니 LG전자 노트 코드 말고 탭 코드. 아, 탭 코드라고 하는 거야 이거를. 탭 코드. 아니? 도망치라고? 뭘 도망쳐? 노크 코드 뭐지? Dad thought we had mice, but they couldn't find any. 스폰 안 돼.
Fairy tales. Stories about lost princesses, evil witches, magical mirrors, and lost children. So you see, even before I knew the truth, I'd found it in those stories.
매직.
I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic sperm. And they say lightning doesn't strike twice. I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was.
아 무서워. 위치.
It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. So she throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
엔드.
No, he was as shy as me. I asked,
Oh.
well, I asked a friend.
이 얼굴이 왜 부어있냐? 아 이거 일시정지 없냐? 니네 보여요 이거? 얼굴 좀 부어있는 거?
No, he was as shy.
뭐야?
Coffee,
아닌가?
I guess.
깜짝이야. 뭐지? 되게 빨갰는데?
No,
아니
he
겁나
was as shy
빨개.
as me. I asked, well, I asked a friend to ask him out for me.
아 색감 때문에
We
저렇게
had our
보이는 거구나.
first
아니 왜
date
이렇게
at the
빨개?
Odeon in North End. We went to see Risky Business. I had on my one best dress. Simon paid, and he bought me a whisper, and I was worried about getting chocolate on my teeth. Yes, like a story. A beginning, a middle, and an end. Well, she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. He's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends. I thought it made me sound suspicious. It's not a normal thing to do to drive to the other end of the country. I wanted to keep it simple.
원래 난
I know it's
쌍둥이가
stupid not to tell you
서로를
everything.
위해서 누군가 죽인 것 같은데.
Saying I
그런
spent the
얘기를
night in
하시는
Glasgow when my husband went missing, I thought it would, distract you from what was important. It's different now. Now he's... Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in, Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly in the living room, nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower, The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted.
에릭 검색해봐야겠다.
So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to.
에릭?
I woke up a couple of
Eric
hours
검색하기?
later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
왜 이렇게 많아?
He was wearing a shirt. It's a blue turtleneck shirt and jeans. He has a watch. It's a really nice one. That was a gift from his boss, Eric. He had his coat, a long grey duffel coat, like Paddington. He would have taken that from the house. So, it was Friday evening. On Saturday, on the Saturday afternoon, I checked at the Rock again to come see you. Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked in the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back. Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one. He saw me singing one of my shows.
왜? 7월 2일 9월 30일 이 중간에 그냥 얘기를 해버린 거 이게 제일 마지막 시간대인 거구나 이때가.
Well, Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
다이앤?
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the Glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there. Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, you must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then. Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off Ceefax, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
팬넬? 팬넬? 도전 과제 팬넬이 뭐야?
Simon and Eric arguing?
팬넬?
I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
Nell?
Not really. I would come over for cook. Master chef. He got the rest. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel? Master chef. He got the recipe of sea fat.
Pregnant.
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married. Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness. No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant.
뭐야 이게? Mirror?
He wasn't present so much. It was one of those arguments that had been simmering for a while. The present was a mirror, a nice mirror. He'd engraved the glass, the kind of mirror a princess would have in a story. He made it specially for me. The mirror. I can't remember. I put it somewhere safe. Upstairs, I think. Haven't looked at it since.
야 이거 너무 재밌는데? Baby. 오케이.
We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday. We couldn't afford our own place. Simon dropped out of school, went full-time at the Glaziers. That was Eric's
Glaziers.
generosity. We moved in with his mum and dad. They had a spare room for us and the baby, if it came. It was a nice change, time to myself, living there for those months, full of hope. No, I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after. It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Simon's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby.
유산된 아기에 대한 이야기.
There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff, stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed, and that's when I called the police.
그러니까 둘 중에 한 명이 살인을 저지른 것 같은데.
Yes.
그러니까 아기를 가졌을 때 축복을 줄 줄 알았는데 나는 불임인데 왜 너는 임신을 한 거야
Never thought
하고
it was possible.
화나가지고 그런 것
I
같은데.
don't know what
아닌가?
he. I mean, I hadn't decided whether to keep the baby. I wasn't really ready to talk to him about it.
배신? Betray. Betrayer. Mary? Marriage? Okay.
I hoover, I dust.
커피를
every
마시고
week.
직후구나.
Maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that. So, our sex life is probably fairly average for a couple after 10 years of marriage. Simon was very moral about that sort of thing. He wouldn't just walk out there and sleep with anyone. He wasn't that kind of guy. He took his marriage very seriously. After the kiss, the next time, he took me back to the house, to our parents' house, to their house. So, it was definitely him. I sometimes think he wanted to get caught to prove to himself that we were different people. He told me about his marriage, told me how his wife was completely different to me. I almost burst out laughing.
야, what?
He told me
물리는
about
거야,
his
그러니까?
marriage, told me how his wife was completely different, that we were different.
그러니까 해나랑 결혼했는데 이브랑 분류를 한 거임? 외모는 똑같으니까? 미친놈임?
I almost burst out laughing.
Wife. 하다.
You're reaching here. And I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken
치트,
anything
치트라고 검색해야
from
돼. 치트,
anyone.
오케이, 치트 검색하래.
Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for. Why are you trying to make me sad? Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs? You cheated on your wife.
cheated.
Is this your thing?
Okay.
No, I have never been unfaithful. I've never cheated on Simon. Have I ever cheated on Simon? You asked that question yesterday. Simon never cheated on me. He was devoted to me, and I was devoted to him. Nothing in life is easy. We were good to each other. Life isn't a fairy tale. You do what you can. It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford.
알고 있었네 이 녀석. Parents.
Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. A miscarriage and then my parents. Yes, I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back, me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there. Then my parents died.
페어리테일.
Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it. Are any of these in colour? And the Glaziers. I worked there some weekends, and Simon had a part-time job there too. That was Eric's generosity. He was always good at helping out other people's children. Simon was quiet, more thoughtful than the other boys. Even then, he had a sense of craftsmanship. Wasn't always rushing stuff. Boys that age are just running around like headless chickens most of the time. You know? Plus, he had that look. He looked like a fairy tale prince from one of my books. Well, she wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to hear the story? It's a real-life fairy tale.
Gift. Gabe. Oh.
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had
뭔가
our
주는
meal.
걸 생각을
He gave me
했어요.
his present. I guess I didn't
Present.
like the
오케이,
present.
present. Present 검색하기. Present.
From when I woke up. Okay. I woke up. Simon was already up, and he made me birthday breakfast of eggs Benedict. We both had to go to work, so we saved presents till later. I got to work, had some birthday cake. Children sang me happy birthday. Then I came home. The birthday meal was a takeaway, and Simon gave me his present. which I didn't mind. And after that, we talked about the baby. It turned into a big argument. Simon left. I was furious. I wanted to get as far away as I could and get some space to think. So I left. Well, on his clothes, that would make sense. He made it by hand. I mean, he brushes the silver onto the glass. That's not how they make mirrors these days. I mean, he made the mirror and he gave it to me.
거울 좀
If
봐야 될
one of
것
us got
같은데.
hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull out Hannah's to match. Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. But she snapped a
둘은
frozen
똑같았어야
piece up
했다.
for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies were
아 근데
synchronized
한 명은
anyway.
그게 맞네. 한
Period
명은
on the same
불임, 한 명은
day.
임신을 했는데 불륜으로 임신을
Childhood
해버린 거야.
diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
그래가지고 싸웠네. 내가 미러를 검색했던 적이 있던가? 아 리플렉션만 있네. 리플렉션? 미러는 없네. 아 있네? 미러 다시 검색해보자. 미러 사이먼 미러 Mirror present.
Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me.
Pretended.
They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present. Another mirror. Just like the one he'd given her earlier.
사이먼 미친놈이네 이거.
That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
이게 진실이었네. 알리바이를 영어로 어떻게 하지? 잠깐만. 됐다.
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch, That was my touch to make sure the alibi stuck.
Baby name. Baby. Daughter. Son. Crazy.
Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
숨겨진 거 없나? Problem? 오케이, 있다.
No, not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but no, he doesn't have any kind of drinking problem.
실시 고백한
Hannah
옷이다.
was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous, didn't want to share. Even the first date, we went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went, kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me, but that was it. We didn't want another card on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back. After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
이래서 아까 그거랑 얘기한 거구나. 잠깐만. 루.
Okay. She's being chased. They're trying to catch her because she did something bad. I guess she broke the rules. Or maybe they think she did something bad. Maybe it wasn't her fault. She looks scared, not guilty. Maybe it was mistaken identity. Did they catch her there? I don't know.
이걸 보고 있는 애는 경찰관인가 그러면? 아니면 뭐야?
We would swap places and take it in turns to do things. and we were very careful. Whoever had been out that day would come back and write a detailed diary so that we were on the same page. We had a list of rules that said what we could and couldn't do in any given situation. It was exhaustive. We lived a second life through those rules. Rules for things that could only ever happen inside our imaginations. We would consider all the permutations of future events and agree rules to walk our way through them.
플로렌스가 잘못했네.
It lasted about 6 months. I tried to carry on, but everything was different. Hannah insisted I not pretend to be her around Simon, let alone sleep with him. We didn't share him like the others. The rules had changed. Me living in the attic had become weird in a way it hadn't been before.
그래서 다르게 나갔구나. 잠깐만. 그래서 리브를 했구나. 맞아요. 아닌가?
Can I leave? Are you going to arrest me? No. They'd laugh you out of the building. A lawyer would make mincemeat of you.
아니야, 추리하는 거예요. 추리하는 게임. 한나를 하나 안 봤구나. 오케이.
She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside, and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
그 다음에 에틱. 뭐? 치챗. How's it going down there? You done? No. 뭐야? Okay, I hang a bit longer. Buzz when you're ready. 준비됐을 때 버즈를 울리라고. 알겠어.
Yes, I read a lot as a child and watched lots of TV. Then the doll's house we had, we still have in the attic. It's kind of a fairy castle. We used to play out there and make up our own stories. Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there? Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back.
프리텐드. 아니. Real.
He has a wallet, a huge silly thing, leather, real leather, I think. He packs it full of stuff, business cards, receipts, lottery tickets. He always carries it in his back pocket. I think that's why he's got a bad back. Offsets the discs. I haven't seen it, so he must have it on him. He always takes it out of his back pocket before, when he comes in, if he's in the house. His body didn't look real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. He has these thick glasses. He doesn't always wear them.
오케이. 제일 중요한 거.
When I was 8, Mother died. She slipped down the stairs. It was an accident. I had read a diary at that point and I knew she wasn't my real mother. So I burned the diary that day and I left. Walked out and across the street.
Love?
No. I mean, he was... Everyone loves Simon. He was so nice to everyone. He loves me. Cute. He must love them very much. What ages are they?
lie?
A week or so ago. It would have been the Saturday before my birthday. You know, I get like that on the weekends, have a lie-in, then want to get up and blitz the house.
Blank?
A mobile phone? Yeah. Well, they have one for the Glaziers, but it's only for work. I can't remember the number. Oh, it's in the kitchen. I saw it plugged into its charging cradle.
대문자로? Gone. Oh.
Oh, God, I don't know. I mean, I guess the Rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong. No, it's okay. The other detective has just gone to get me one. Yeah. They've gone to bed feeling ill. Thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me. I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed. Just awful. It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
Car? 뭐 왜 이렇게 많아?
I wasn't in the house all of Friday night.
네 개나 있어.
After the argument, after Simon left, I left too. I was upset and I wanted to get away. So I took the car. I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep. I left the next day, Saturday. I slept for a few hours in the car. And when I woke up, I came straight back. Simon wasn't returning my calls and I wanted to try and make up. I got back to the house and Simon wasn't there. And I... Is there a bin?
빈? 빈
I
검색해봐야지.
pulled over and slept in the car. This was just by the side of the road. I was exhausted. I
택시? 오, 뭐 있어?
When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
Husband. 뭐 있다.
I haven't been into work. I guess I've just been waiting to hear from you, hear from my husband. When you suspect someone of murdering their husband. When you suspect someone of murdering their husband.
잘못 들었네. 아이씨.
She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman. But it's okay, because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine. I guess you could call it that, but we were
점점
both
단어 맞추기 어려워지네.
happy to get married. It was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us.
아, 이 남은 것들 어떻게 찾지? 게스트? 위에 게스트가 적혀있으니까 없네.
No, he doesn't keep a diary. That's my thing. I've kept one, well, as long as I can remember, since I was a girl. Helps make sense of my day. And when you're forced to put something into words, Just gives you perspective. Everyone's on the same page. Yeah, when I was at school, I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything, I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till.
Born? God.
God, I don't know. Could be anyone. Maybe someone followed him back from the pub. But why would he let them in? Doesn't make sense.
아, 또 뭐가 있을까? Fresh.
Maybe a fresh cup of tea? I mean, I don't know. Something must have happened to him on his way home. He could be hurt. I mean, why hasn't he phoned? I don't know.
Goodbye. 진짜 있네?
Nothing else happened that night. We talked, then I said goodbye. Then next week I was singing in the bar again, and there he was. And again the next week, he offered to buy me a meal. I told him I had already eaten, and so we got chips and ate them on the beach instead. When we said goodbye, he asked me to kiss him. Romantic. Yes. I thought about telling Hannah. I felt guilty after the kiss. But then it began to feel like this was the way it should be.
다 욕심 많았구나, 형들 다.
Sharing. Like we had
Sharing.
before. He never mentioned her
얘
to
말은
me.
그거래. 둘 다 임신하면 되는 거 아니야?
There
이렇게
was
한
the
거지.
Simon with me
미친놈이네 그냥.
and the Simon with her. It was almost like it was a different Simon. But
Different. Okay.
the difference is, she's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. Hannah met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses. After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity.
엥?
It's not that different to a bruise,
그냥 진짜 둘 다 사이코패스 아니에요 이거는?
a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns. Though I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon. Can you imagine? I tried. I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. I slept with so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was pretty ill. I mean, how could we stay the same now? I felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths. We had become different.
엄청나게 많았네 생각보다.
Really? You're going to ask me about my sex life? I mean, isn't that private? Are you married? How is your sex life? No! You're talking to the wrong person if you think I'm some kind of slut. If you think I'm the kind of person that would have had sex with all those guys. No. I was 15. Carl was older. 17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. It's stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
스토리. 출산은 영어로 뭐라고 하지? 출산. 아기가 그래서 어떻게 됐어? 이미지 어학사전. 영어로 뭐라 하냐? birth. birth라고 해야 되나? 아니네. labor. childbirth. 아니네. due.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. I'd like to speak to a lawyer
와
now.
이게 처음 저거였네.
You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
이런 거 이렇게 얘기해 주는 거 보니까 성공했나 보다 얘네 계획이. 걔 한나는 도망갔고 얘가 이브잖아요. 이브가 저걸 했나 보여. 그래서
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
그런갑다.
Suicide? No. I mean, he would never do anything like that. He is not the kind of person to do anything like that. I mean, to hurt himself? No. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm quite a private person and I didn't want to get into the detail of the argument. This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap?
wig.
A wig? You mean... But what type of wig? No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig? No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow, so we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It's like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant, but I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers, drunk guys I'd met in clubs, parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD. When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
플랜 눌러야 돼. 플랜.
This was about 9. I went round and she was waiting for me. She was furious and so angry, the kind of anger you can only have towards yourself. We screamed at each other, argued, cried, we fought. I hit her back, left a bruise. I had my wig on from performing, she tore it off. Eventually, we grew tired of fighting and I left.
공겜은 아니에요.
People, Simon would get their own. This was
플랜 검색해봐야겠다. 공포 게임에 좀 재밌는 게임이에요. 아, 플랜 없네. 잠깐만. 화장실 갔다 올게요, 여러분. 금방 갔다 오겠습니다. 아, 재밌네. 나머지 단어 찾기 너무 힘드네. lawyer. 있다.
Yes, I understand my rights. No, I don't need a lawyer. Yes, no lawyer. What are you going to arrest me for?
arrest.
Like I said, I think I was popping out to get something, ran out of something, had to grab something. I sometimes drive too fast. If you want, you can arrest me for that. This is a nice of them. This is where you take people when it's time to arrest them. Can you arrest someone who doesn't exist?
Oh.
Twins? Really? Are you really asking me that question?
진짜잖아. 미친 거짓말쟁이야.
Are you out of your mind? Twins? There were always princes and princesses. They were the special people, more important than the other characters in their stories. We knew we were like that. Twins. Magical. We were the princesses. We had a poster of Princess Diana from the newspaper up in our attic. Had pride of place. And underneath we used to put all our special things. When her engagement was announced, we were obsessed with everything she did. And later, when her life went so bad, we felt for her. Her divorce last year just kind of drew a line under things.
Lie. Liar. Full. Full. Cat.
No, they were shut. Most of the windows were really hard to open anyway. It's stifling in summer. They were painted over by my dad. Could have left a door open accidentally. Or there's a cat flap in the back door. My sister is gone. And she's never coming back.
Run away. Run away. Capture. Police. 오, 많다.
When will the police let me back in the house? And they let me take a bag of clothes with me, but... No, 1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful.
Winter?
Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It was just awful. They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to get mushrooms, grow them too.
아이고.
They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them.
Reason.
Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. that a girl has a healthy appetite. If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend. Once, she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear, she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready. My mum was amazed. She didn't put her playing.
Friend. 아이고. Fire.
Simon's parents offered to put me up, but I didn't think it would be a good idea. It would be too sad. Not right now. I'm staying at a friend's.
Slowly. Fast. 있다.
The bruise.
The
I have a really
bruise.
fast metabolism, so
The
stuff
bruise,
like
잠깐만,
that just
the
comes and
bruise.
goes. I don't know if that's not already.
Body. 잠깐만. Bruise.
Bruise. Oh, yeah,
Bruise.
no, it's nothing. I was going through the top cupboard in my kitchen and the chair slipped and I kind of hit the door with my face. I mean, it hurt like hell. The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism.
야.
Bruise.
얘는 얼굴 왼쪽을 만져.
The bruise.
얘는 오른쪽을 만져. 이 새끼들이 거짓말쟁이 싹 다 죽여 이거. 이때부터 거짓말을
I have a really
했었구나.
fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes.
메타볼리즘 이 하나밖에 없고. Mood. Feel.
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them.
Sorry.
Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again?
PT. 아, 이 남은 기록들을 보고 싶은데 단어가 기억이 안 나. Eve.
My mother called me Eve. A police station. And have them take us to a taxi. It was suspicious.
We.
No. I mean, yes, we have arguments, but he never runs off. He always comes back. We make up. It's always that way. A long time. We got married when I was 17.
During. God.
I got a job to contribute, you know. Yeah, we were 17. It was a nice wedding, people said. Simon looked very handsome in the photos. His parents paid for everything, but he's an only child, so it was important to them. It was what they called a shotgun wedding, but if you looked at the photos, you couldn't tell. The dress was beautiful. It looked like Princess Diana's.
Child. Princess.
Yes, there's an Amstrad one. No one uses it for very much. There's a printer so you can write letters on it. Simon sometimes plays games, you know, climb the tower, save the princess, that kind of thing. We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty, pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut. The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger.
Paper.
Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly into the living room. Nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom. He wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents.
똑같은 저번에 봤던 똑같은
And then I
건데
decided to come and see you.
그 비슷하게 두 번 나오는 거 보니까
Dark and real, bizarre. The illustrations was an index of illustrations about peace.
pictures. Came back. Came by.
It's the Rockington Arms. Peter said,
way out. Done. Yep. 뭐야? Good. So you think you understand why your mother did what she did? 이게 그게 딸이야? 딸이 이걸 찾으러 왔던 거야. What? 사라. 로그아웃하라고? 사라. 이름이 사라야.
I would have been a good mother. I was young. Been a good. Oh, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah. Simon wanted to call her Ava.
에이바? 이때도 나왔구나 이 이름이. 오 마이 갓. 재밌다. 완전 재밌어요. 완전 재밌었어. 딱 인디 게임스럽네. 이 한 명이 연기한 거라고 하고는 이게 너무 무섭다 이게. 굉장히 재밌었다. 아주 좋았어요. 뭐라고 해야 될까? 추리하는 것도 되게 재밌었고. 뭐라고 해야 되지 이 느낌을? 그러니까 내가 주도적으로 찾는 다른 것들은 뭐 단어를 눌러야 된다는 말이에요. 근데 이건 단어가 아니고 내가 직접 찾아야 된다라는 게 굉장히 좀 인상 깊어서 되게 좋았어. 컨셉도 좋고. 아이 무서워. real? 어드민 언더바 랜덤이 있어? wait. 어드민 잠깐만 랜덤.
No. I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about our argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
금발 떡밥이 이때부터 있었네.
He's married couple stuff. Yes, yeah. I would have cleaned them. I changed the sheets too, with the fingerprints in all those places.
네?
Childhood sweethearts. Something like that. Are you married, detective?
딕테티브를 검색 안 해봤네.
Must think it's very cool that their dad is a police detective.
키. 이거 본거 같아.
Well, how many kids? No. I'm not sure what's strange with
잘 썼다. 한 번만 더 볼게요. 아까는 도전 과제가 나와가지고 화면에 쓸 수가 없어. 근데 이게 파일이 다 동영상으로만 구현된 게임이라는 게 정말 재밌다. 너무 재밌었다. 오늘 그래도 게임을 2개. Unlocked? 오, 됐다. Maximum raw set admin unlock 99. 아, 안 되네. Eve. 이거 남아있다. 이거 봐야지.
Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile. Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Derek had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then... Yes, it was a cremation. for the best. We both wore black and had veils, so it was easy. And after the funeral, everyone came back to the house. Hannah served up sandwiches, and I stayed out of sight. The legal stuff was completed very quickly. Hannah moved back in with Simon. Eric gave Simon the week off to help with the move. He decorated, modernised wallpaper curtains. Hannah insists the attic be left as it was, dollhouse and all. Simon never went up there.
진짜 재밌었다. 다시 꺼야겠다.